Hello everyone, my name is BrickCraft Productions, and today I'm going to be teaching you all how to do lighting. Lighting can be the difference between a good and a bad stop motion, so you have to be certain that you nail it. There's a multitude of ways that you can use lighting. You could use an overhead light in your room, or you could use natural light, or you could even get creative and use the light on your own phone, but that's not exactly recommended. I think one of the best ways to use lighting as a stop motion beginner is to use lamps, especially at least two, because if you only have one on, it's kind of hard to proportion it to where the lighting's on the entire set. So it's always best to have two, whether it's the same light or not. Lighting can also go as far as even determining the theme of your setting. Here I have Steve in just a little overworld kind of theme. And I think the best combination for an overworld theme is a regular old white light and a nice amber white light bulb. And they go well together, especially if you cross them together, because if I turn the amber light off, even if you set up the white light to where it's in the center, it doesn't get quite the sunlight effect. And without the white light on, it looks nice, but it doesn't quite feel bright enough. And together, they just go well and fit in harmony. And make sure you fit it to where the LED light is everywhere. And with the amber light, you can just kind of put it over top. And when you're doing a dark theme, whether it's in a cave or it's just dark outside, I think it might be best to just turn off both lights. Because with both of them on, I mean, it's bright, but I think too bright, especially if you're supposed to be dark. Turning off gives quite the dark effect, and still is pretty bright and easy to see. And if you do want to have one light on, keep the white light on, and you should probably have it far away so it's not too bright, because the closer it is, the brighter the objects are going to be lighted up. So kind of keep it at a distance and in the center like this. And it's a very important thing where you set up your lights. Here, my white light is set up right in the center, kind of like right here, straight across. And that's important because, as you can see, there's no shadows and nothing wrong with it. But if I move the LED lights from the left to the right, you can kind of tell the shadows are kind of showing, and it kind of gives off the idea that there's a light right there. It gives it away, that's what I mean. And it's not as bright as one area as it is the other. As you can see, it's really bright over here, and it's kind of dark over there. So make sure to have it in the center, and make sure there's no objects in the way to bring up a shadow. I'm using something to position my camera right here. But if you're going to position your camera, you should probably use something small so it doesn't give away a shadow like it does right here. And so yeah. Another great lighting trick is hiding small LED lights in your setting to give off a special effect. Here in this setting, Steve is right next to a campfire, just hanging out. And you can get much smaller lights online in stores, but this is the closest thing I have right now. As you can see, it turns on and off with a switch. And it would give off a nice lighting effect to the fire to give the effect that it's really a fire. And if you position it right, it can even look like the fire is reflecting off of Steve's face. Like I said, there's much smaller ones so you can hide them easier online. But I don't recommend buying them if you're going to really commit to stop motions. I'm thinking of getting some in the future. But if this is the closest thing you have, you may notice that to activate it, you have to push the button down, which can be kind of hard to set up. So what I would do, I would just get some tape and tape it closed. You might not want to get a whole lot, you want to get way less than this so it's less visible. But then, this time it's permanently on. You just want to make sure you only have it on when you need it, because, if the battery dies, you'll have to get a new one, and that can be annoying. But yeah, and there's also different colors too. Red is definitely not the only one, so you can get creative and use different LED lights for different situations. One final lighting tip is if you don't have any lamps, you don't have enough money to afford any, or you're just not that into stop motion yet to fully commit to getting lights, one thing you can do is use natural light, which is very uncommon trick used and honestly not that recommended, but if it's what you got, then it'll work. As you can see, this is the normal setting of Steve. There are no lights on other than my overhead light, but I'm sitting right next to the window, and if I pull the blinds up, you can kind of see an increase of light in the set, as you can see right there. And I'll turn them back down, and you can tell there was a pretty big difference in lighting. And this trick can be used especially if you're using it next to a window, but the reason why it's very unused is because you're not really in control of the lights when you're using this version of lighting. Because what if you're just working on it and all of a sudden, a cloud goes over the sun, then your lighting's going to go down by a lot, and it'll look weird in the final picture. It'll look like the lighting just goes from bright to, dark. Especially if you're in a cave or something and you have blinds, the sun will still go through the blinds just a little bit. It can make a big difference. So you're best sticking off with a lamp or just an overhead light in your room. But yeah, that pretty much sums up on how to do lighting in stop motion. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you have any more questions about lighting, feel free to leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. And if you have any more things you want me to talk about in BrickCraft Tutorials, let me know, because I plan to cover a lot of different things about stop motion. And thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. Bye!